there are 6 kinds of power we'll be considering as we try to study the doctrine of power. The first kind of power is called arche. Arche. Luke 20, verse 20. This kind of power is leadership, is preeminence, and is the ability to affect society. It's a kind of authority that makes you lead and to shape society. You know, power is not just about praying long or healing the sick or having encounters and visions. There's a kind of power that a man possesses that helps him to affect territories. That's the kind of power Joseph had. They can shape things because they deal with thrones, and they can draw the virtues that are invested in thrones to shape civilizations and to renew the scope and the shape of territories. In Luke 20:20, he said, and they watched him and sent forth spices, which should feign themselves just men, that they might take hold of his word, that they might deliver him unto. Now, this was Jesus. They were monitoring him to pick his words, to take the words to. They now introduce us to a kind of power. This power has the ability to determine things in society. And so the word power here, they wanted to take Jesus to that power that has the ability to bind and to dictate for society. That was the power they wanted to take Jesus to. But they needed him to be caught off guard through the things he spoke, so that he become legal for that power to exert its authority. So this kind of power is highly legalistic, but it is invested on thrones. So there is a power that thrones bear that makes what they say to become law in the territory. And I'll explain this to you. You can be a king and not reign. Solomon became a king. It took some years before Solomon began to reign. It is exousia that brings you to kingship. But reigning, the ability to talk and society will respond, the ability to show up and society will honor you, is a type of power. That power is tied to a throne, but it is not just about the throne. It's the ability to shape territory. So it makes you come first. So when you see a man who begins to stir a revolution, when you see a man, at least one is happening now. He has not entered the throne yet, but everywhere he goes to, everybody is singing his name. That kind of power is called arche. And if that man ascends the throne, he can change things. That's why his message is, when I come, I will change the economy. Because that power, it arrests the hearts of men, commands their allegiance, and makes them submitted to you. Anything you do, they follow, because you become first in rank. It's a kind of power. It's called arche. This type of power is what we will deal with when we begin to deal with deeper dynamics, because it deals with legalities, it deals with structures, it deals with wisdom, it deals with character. A lot is involved to be able to wield this kind of power. The reason some persons have exousia, they are in authority, but nobody respects them, is because they don't have arche. So a man can be in government, but all he's doing is marrying wives. Have you seen some kings in recent times that are only marrying wives? So a king that should be hallowed, they now look at him and say, all he's doing now is marrying. Is a king that marries. So he is in a place of authority, but he doesn't have honor. So there's exousia, but there's no arche. So when that kind of king speaks, people will say, go sleep. Stop to make noise here. That's a king they are talking to. But there's another king that when he's coming, people will dress up and stand on the road just to wave him. Even if he talks, if it has not yet become a law, they will start doing it. So such kings don't talk. In fact, they are careful to tell you what they desire. Because if they just say, I desire this, people will kill themselves for it to happen. It's called arche. It's a type of power. But that power has a lot of dynamics. That's the power that makes you truly become influential and gives you the authority to shape a civilization. And the church must master this kind of power. But because it's not what we are dealing with tonight, let me define another one. Anakazo. Luke 14:23. He created a banquet, nobody came. He now said, go to the highway and compel. This one is a power that overrides your will. So there is a kind of power you can come into that when you talk, even if people don't like it, they have no choice. I give you a physical example. Somebody has a company. He puts CCTV cameras everywhere. They are still stealing. He comes and threatens them that if you steal, you will be fired. They are still stealing. In fact, he brings charms and plants in the office. They are still stealing. He will warn. They are still stealing. There's a power he lacks. The power that overrides the will of men. That anakazo is not there. Whereas there's another man that says, if you want to steal, steal. And everybody will advise themselves not to steal. They don't just want to imagine what will happen. Because that one is a compelling force. The moment you discern what the person wants, you enslave yourself to it. It's called anakazo. It's a type of power. And there's a technology for wielding this power. We will deal with that because this one too is a bit advanced. Then you have the common powers that we know. Okay, let me define another one before I come to the ones we know. There's a power called energio. Energio is in 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 6. It said, that self-same spirit walketh in us. So this power gives you the ability to walk a dimension, to walk a protocol, to walk a reality. In fact, for you to be able to operate dunamis, for you to be able to operate exousia, for you to be able to operate ischus and kratos, you must first of all have energio. It's as energio begins to work in you that you begin to maximize dunamis. Everybody here, if you are baptized in the Holy Spirit, there's dunamis on your inside. But you may need another power to awaken dunamis. That's why you can't speak in tongues. You just lie down, you sleep. Even when you want to speak in tongues, you sleep and doze off. You want to read the Bible, you doze off. There is a power that activates. That is the power that works. That power is called energio. And there is a dynamic for awakening that power. So as we are dealing with the dynamics of power, the doctrine of power, we will look at how to operate arche, we'll look at how to operate anakazo, and we'll look at how to operate energio. These ones will give you advantages that will make you impactful in your generation and in your territory.